A dream America lost. There was a time when America didn't just build cars. America taught the world how to build them. For generations, places like Detroit turned steel into opportunity. A steady factory job could buy a house, raise a family, and put your kids through college. Owning a new car wasn't a luxury. It was proof that hard work still paid off. Then something changed. Factories closed. Assembly lines went silent. Millions of manufacturing jobs disappeared. And the automobile, once the symbol of the American dream, slowly became something many working Americans could no longer afford. Today, the average new vehicle costs nearly $50,000. For many young families, that number feels less like a price tag and more like a wall. So when a tiny startup announced it would build an electric pickup truck in America for around $25,000, people didn't just notice another new vehicle. They questioned everything they had been told. Because for years, Detroit insisted that building an affordable American truck simply wasn't possible. So if one small startup believes it can do exactly that, why couldn't Detroit? Or perhaps the better question is, did Detroit lose the ability or simply lose the desire? The truck that shouldn't exist. At first glance, the slate doesn't look like the future. In fact, it almost looks unfinished. There's no giant touchscreen dominating the dashboard, no expensive metallic paint shimmering in the sunlight, no endless list of trim levels designed to confuse buyers, no dealership showroom packed with luxury upgrades. The truck almost seems to ignore everything the modern auto industry has spent the last 20 years trying to sell. Instead of asking what else can be added, Slate keeps asking what can be removed. That makes the truck feel strangely out of place, not because it's electric, but because it's simple. Most new vehicles try to impress you before you even drive them. The Slate barely tries at all. The windows use manual cranks. Your phone becomes the infotainment screen. Many accessories don't even come with the truck. You add them only if you actually need them. At first, it almost feels like something is missing. But then another thought appears. What if nothing is missing? What if everything unnecessary has simply been taken away? That question changes the way you see the truck. Because maybe this isn't a cheaper version of a modern pickup. Maybe it's trying to become something completely different. A vehicle designed around a different set of priorities. And once you start looking at it that way, every missing feature starts feeling intentional. It was never about saving money. Most people look at the Slate and assume the company ran out of money. No paint, no giant screen, no premium sound system, no endless customization at the factory. It looks like cost cutting. But that's only true if you think like a modern automaker. More than a century ago, Henry Ford wasn't trying to build the most luxurious automobile in America. He was trying to build one ordinary workers could actually afford. His famous Model T wasn't revolutionary because it had more features. It changed history because millions of families who had never imagined owning a car suddenly could. Its simplicity wasn't a compromise. It was the entire strategy. That's the same question Slate appears to be asking today. Not how can we build a better luxury truck, but how can we build a truck that more Americans can actually buy? Those sound similar, they're completely different problems. One adds features, the other removes barriers. Suddenly, the truck begins to make more sense. The plain interior no longer looks unfinished. The missing technology no longer feels outdated. Instead, it starts looking like a deliberate attempt to return to an idea America once understood remarkably well: that a vehicle doesn't have to impress everyone. It only has to do its job honestly. And if that's true, then every strange decision on this truck deserves another look. Every missing part tells a story. Take the body panels. Most manufacturers spend enormous amounts of money painting vehicles. Paint shops are among the most expensive parts of any automobile factory. They're complicated, energy-intensive, and incredibly costly to operate. Slate asked a different question. What if the truck never needed paint at all? Instead of painted steel, many exterior panels are made from molded composite materials. Owners can wrap them in different colors, replace damaged panels more easily, or simply leave them exactly as they came from the factory. Removing paint didn't just save money, it eliminated an entire manufacturing process. The same thinking appears everywhere else. Instead of building dozens of versions on the assembly line, Slate builds nearly the same truck every time. Need an SUV? Add the conversion later. Need roof racks? Install them later. Need different accessories? Choose only the ones you'll actually use. The truck isn't finished when it leaves the factory. It evolves afterward. For decades, the auto industry has asked factories to build thousands of different combinations before customers ever arrive. Slate flips that idea upside down. Build one simple vehicle first. Let owners decide the rest. And suddenly, every missing feature stops looking like a sacrifice. It becomes evidence that the entire manufacturing process has been redesigned from the ground up. The problem was never the truck. The more you understand the Slate, the harder it becomes to blame the truck itself. Because maybe the real problem was never engineering, it was affordability. Over the past 2 decades, American pickups have grown larger, heavier, more luxurious, and dramatically more expensive. Features that were once optional slowly became expected. Large touchscreens, premium interiors, electronic driver aids, luxury trim packages, higher monthly payments. Today, the average new vehicle in America costs close to $50,000. For millions of younger buyers, even earning a decent paycheck no longer guarantees they can afford a brand new vehicle. That's why the excitement surrounding Slate isn't really about an electric pickup. It's about what $25,000 represents. And once you see that number through the eyes of working Americans, the story stops being about one startup. It becomes a question about the entire American auto industry. The problem was never the truck. The deeper you look at the Slate, the more difficult it becomes to blame technology, or batteries, or even manufacturing costs. Because for decades, American automakers proved they could build affordable trucks. They simply stopped trying. Walk into almost any dealership today and look at the pickup trucks lined up on the lot. Many are larger than ever, more powerful than ever, more luxurious than ever, and far more profitable than ever. Leather seats, panoramic roofs, massive touchscreens, premium sound systems, driver assistance packages. None of those features are bad, but together, they quietly changed what a pickup truck was supposed to be. Somewhere along the way, the work truck slowly became a luxury product. The customer changed too. Instead of asking, how many Americans can afford this truck? The industry began asking, how much more will buyers pay? That is a very different business. Now, look back at the Slate. Suddenly, $25,000 doesn't feel like a marketing slogan. It feels like a challenge. Not to Ford, not to GM, but to an entire way of thinking. And that raises another question. If the truck isn't the real disruption, then what is? Detroit built trucks. Slate built a different system. Most people assume the truck is the product. Slate doesn't seem to see it that way. For them, the truck is only the beginning. Buy a traditional pickup, and almost every decision has already been made before you arrive. The color, the trim, the options, the packages. The factory decides first. You choose from what's left. Slate flips that idea upside down. Every truck leaves the factory almost the same. The decisions come later. Need an SUV? Add the conversion kit. Want a different color? Wrap it. Need roof racks? Install them yourself. Want better speakers? Upgrade them when you're ready. Instead of asking customers to pay for everything on day one, Slate asks them to pay only for what they actually use. That's why the truck almost feels unfinished, because it's supposed to. Not unfinished in quality, unfinished by design. Like a set of Lego bricks waiting to become whatever the owner needs. Or a smartphone that becomes more useful as you install the apps you actually want. The more you understand that idea, the less this looks like an inexpensive pickup. It starts looking like an entirely different business model. And once that becomes clear, another question appears. If one startup can rethink the business, why couldn't the companies that invented the American automobile? What happened to Detroit? More than 100 years ago, Henry Ford changed history with an idea that sounded almost impossible. Build one simple vehicle, build it efficiently, build enough of them, and ordinary workers could finally afford one. That idea transformed America. Factories became cities. Assembly lines created millions of middle-class jobs. Owning a car wasn't just transportation, it meant independence, opportunity, a better future for your children. For generations, that was the promise Detroit sold to America. Today, a tiny startup in Indiana is asking a surprisingly familiar question. What if we started over? What if affordable transportation mattered more than endless features? What if simplicity wasn't a weakness, but the entire advantage? That's why this story has become much bigger than one electric pickup. The Slate isn't trying to compete with Detroit by building a bigger truck. It's trying to revive an idea Detroit itself once taught the world. Look back at the truck one more time. It no longer feels like a startup experiment. It begins to resemble a reminder of what American manufacturing once believed it could do. But belief alone has never been enough. The real test is still ahead. The real test. History hasn't been kind to electric vehicle startups. Some generated enormous excitement, only to disappear a few years later. Others built impressive prototypes, but never built sustainable businesses. The list is long, and every new company entering this industry knows it. Slate knows it too. That's why its biggest innovation may not be electric power. It may be restraint, less technology, fewer parts, simpler manufacturing, lower costs, smaller risks. Almost every decision seems designed around surviving long enough to matter. Will it work? No one knows. Reservations are not deliveries. A promised price isn't the same as a successful production line. Building a prototype is difficult. building 150,000 vehicles every year is something else entirely. But perhaps that's the wrong question. The most interesting question isn't whether Slate succeeds. It's whether this truck forces the rest of the industry to rethink what Americans actually need. Because if buyers truly want something simpler, someone will eventually build it, whether that's Slate or someone much larger. Back to the beginning. At the beginning of this story, the Slate looked like an unfinished pickup. A truck with missing features, missing paint, missing luxury, maybe even missing ambition. Now it looks very different. It isn't the fastest truck. It isn't the most powerful. It may never become America's best-selling pickup, and it could still fail. But that's no longer the most important part of the story. For the first time in years, someone has dared to ask a question Detroit stopped asking long ago. How do you build a brand new vehicle that an ordinary American worker can actually afford? Maybe the biggest test was never the truck itself. Maybe the real test has always been America. Can the country that once taught the world how to build affordable automobiles learn how to do it again? And perhaps that's why this little $25,000 pickup matters. Not because it promises to change the auto industry overnight, but because it reminds America of a promise it once made to millions of working families, and quietly asks whether that promise can still be kept.